Welcome back to Starkiller Base. Today we have the Game 2 from our top 4 match at Black Knight Games, February 2017 Winter Kit. The first match was won by Jeff playing Grievous Dooku on the right, and on the left we have Alfredo playing Tusken Raider and Darth Vader. So if Jeff wins this match, then he will win the top 4 and proceed to the finals. If Alfredo wins, we'll have a third game coming up. Looks like the players rolled off and Alfredo won initiative and chose his battlefield. And then he comes in with a holocron on the Tusken Raider, and Jeff put 2 shields on Grievous. So in this case, it doesn't matter because Alfredo lost the first game of this match, but what the rule is actually is that there's no initiative roll in the second and third rounds of a best of 3 match. The person who loses the previous game gets to choose the battlefield for the next game. Jeff plays at a force choke on Dooku. The Tusken Raider rolls in, gets a blank and a 3 melee for 1. Alfredo discards Force Choke and resolves the 3 into Grievous immediately. Grievous rolls in, gets 2 blanks. Alfredo rolls in Vader, gets a 3 melee and 1 resource, and Jeff discards Hidden in Shadows from Vader's ability. Dooku rolls in, gets a 2 discard for 1 and a blank. Alfredo puts 3 melee into Grievous, and then Jeff does a reroll. He gets a blank, a disrupt, a 1 resource, and a Force Choke special.
This one's that does unblockable, right? Yeah. L1. Force Strike.
Alfredo plays Force Strike and puts 3 more into Grievous, so Grievous is really hurting at this point.
Okay.
But that's definitely what you want to do if you're facing this deck. Take out Grievous as quickly as possible. Jeff discards a card. Keeps his Force Stroke special and rerolls the other 3. Gets a blank, and a 1 melee, so he is not having much luck with this first round of rolls. Jeff can always Force Choke Grievous's die into a 2 melee, but there's not much point in doing that, especially when Grievous only has 3 hit points left. So.
2, 1 unblockable and 1. Vader? Yeah.
So it looks like Alfredo claimed earlier on there, and then Jeff resolved 1 melee and the Force Choke into Vader. So Alfredo did 9 damage to Jeff that turn, and Jeff did 2 damage to Alfredo. So you can definitely see what the die rolls can do here. So 1 more swing from Vader, and Grievous is dead. If the Tusken Raider rolls in, gets a 3 melee for 1, then Grievous dies too. So Alfredo rolls in the Raider, gets a shield and a holocron special, so he can discard a card to resolve it immediately, which is not a bad call. If he can get a force throw or something like that, pay 1 to roll it in. Having a force throw it against Grievous is fantastic. Or even a mind probe or anything, frankly.
I think it needs to be the same character.
Alfredo's made a little bit of a mistake there. He has to put it on the same character, and it also can't be a lightsaber because a lightsaber is not an ability upgrade. I don't think I mentioned it in the previous video, but Alfredo's a new player to Destiny. He played Game of Thrones with me and then came over to Destiny when we started this channel. So at this point, this is maybe his 14th game or so of Destiny. So he's got a few things to learn still, but he's come a long way since this time, and he plays at our LGS on Tuesday nights all the time, so he's learned a lot about the game. I'm actually kind of surprised that Jeff didn't pick up on the lightsaber being an ineligible target for holocrons, since he plays holocrons all the time. So Alfredo rolled in the lightsaber special, got a blank, and then Grievous rolled in, got a 1 resource and a 2 melee. Alfredo takes a shield and puts it on Vader. So the players are just discussing that that is not a legal play. Hooray. So Alfredo noticed it, good job. And he put a force training in instead. I guess technically he should roll in the force training die, but maybe they're settling on that as being the penalty for putting an illegal card in. So thankfully that didn't make any difference there. Like the lightsaber special didn't get put off or kill anybody or anything like that. So Jeff plays Immobilize on Dooku, and Alfredo puts the holocron on Vader. Dooku rolls in with a Force Choke, getting a resource and a blank. It looks like Jeff forgot the Immobilize die. Vader rolls in, gets a holocron special, a 3 melee and a 2 melee, so Grievous is not looking so healthy right now. Now if Jeff had his Immobilized die in play, he could just blank that 3 melee on Vader. So when you're playing Destiny and you put out an upgrade or override an upgrade or holocron an upgrade, for Pete's sake, just make sure that you get the die on there. Always do your accounting.
With this thing,
Oh
right?
shit.
Can I put it any character?
Yeah. It doesn't. If it says blue ability only, blue character only, then no. But because of that, you can put it on. You put it on that. Jeff's just noticing he's missing his die here.
I didn't roll.
So he's gonna roll it in, and he gets a 1 disrupt. He's probably going to blank the 3 melee.
Just blank it. Yeah. Remove the die.
There's a little bit of confusion here because
No,
Jeff
yeah,
is pointing out to Alfredo that he forgot to roll it in. So technically he would have rolled that 1 disrupt in on the Immobilize earlier when Dooku activated, and then he'd be able to blank Vader. So I think that he should still put 2 into Grievous there. Put him at 9 damage. He doesn't get rid of that 2 melee damage die, but could be worse. So if Alfredo's got a backup muscle, or he's got something that he can holocron in and do 1 damage with it, like another force training special or something like that, then he could take out Grievous next action, potentially. If not, he should probably reroll Vader and try to take him out. So Jeff is taking 2 resources. He must have some plans for that.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh shit.
I was a little late for that. I remembered I was over there.
Oh, we're just talking about. This is where I discovered that the loser chooses the battlefield. So in this case, it is legitimate because Alfredo did lose the first game.
Yes, yes, yes.
There's a 50-50 chance that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
So Alfredo plays he doesn't like you, gets rid of the blank Vader die to get rid of the 2 melee. Makes me think he might have another force power in there, but maybe not. Vader's die is a lot more important than a holocron if you don't have anything to trade the holocron in for.
I'll claim.
Jeff claims.
Yeah.
And he puts out a force throw on Dooku for 1 less cost. Alfredo plays it, binds all things, so I guess he didn't have it. Could have gotten rid of the holocron die and then rerolled Vader's die to try to get the kill on Grievous. With Jeff going first here, he can roll in Grievous and probably resolve dice before Alfredo can do anything except maybe the... I guess he's got options with the Tusken Raider, so if he rolls in the Tusken Raider here, gets a... There's 2 sides in the Force Train that can kill him, and there's 3 sides in the Tusken Raider. So Grievous is probably not going to get many of his dice off here. Grievous rolls in, gets a Disrupt and a Resource, and Alfredo rolls in the Tusken Raider, gets a Resource and a +2 melee, so didn't get what he was looking for, but it's not like Grievous's dice are showing 6 melee damage anyway, so it's not too much of a problem right now. Jeff should probably reroll Grievous's dice immediately, or maybe get Dooku in there so that he has some control dice to stop Grievous from being killed. But 1 backup muscle, and it doesn't matter how many control dice you have, you're going down.
Activate. Activate, yes.
Dooku rolls in, gets a blank, a focus, and a force throw special, so there is definitely something that can slow down some damage.
If I do this and I discard 0 hands, I still get to resolve the die, right?
So Alfredo needs to try to get this kill as soon as possible, so if he can get a backup muscle out, then Grievous is dead before he can resolve much of his dice.
I mean, besides this, if I discard 0,
But if he's got that, he probably
just double check.
would have already put it out.
I think because it says then, if you don't discard
Tiny, you can't.
That's fine. I can.
You can't resolve a modified die.
I know. But
So I was the TO for this tournament, and Alfredo just taking a minute here to ask for clarification on how No Mercy works.
that's my question.
The die needs to be showing a range die side.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a throw.
So Alfredo should probably still roll Invader here.
That's the one that deals damage to me.
Got to keep Jeff on the defensive here.
Pitch your card.
So Alfredo rolls Invader. He gets a 1 resource, a +1 resource, and a 2 disrupt. So Jeff's probably fine to sit there and not do any die control there. But Alfredo definitely didn't get the 1 damage he's looking for. If he's got a 4 strike or something like that, then Grievous is dead.
Discard this.
And you definitely really like having a bait and switch right about now, since he's got 3 dice showing resources. Jeff discards and rerolls, gets a resource, a disrupt, a 2 discard for 1, and a force choke special. So he's got 3 dice that can do die control now, between the force choke, the force throw, and immobilize. 2 of them in the same action if you resolve specials, so Alfredo's in a bit of a tough spot here. He'd have to re-roll and get 3 damage sides out of the 3 damage dice that he's got. But something like a force training special would be really nice because it would be easy to get through without being force thrown. So Alfredo re-rolls, he gets a resource, a force training special, a shield, a focus, and a shield. So Jeff could immobilize the force training die to blanket rather than throwing it at him or choking him or something like that. And that way he keeps all his damage focused on Vader. Alfredo's definitely in a tough spot here, trying to get through that wall of defensive dice. He should probably try to claim the battlefield so that he can get the first rollout next turn, but Jeff doesn't really have any threatening dice out there, so shouldn't be too much of a problem right now. So Jeff uses Immobilize and blanks the force training, which is a good call. Alfredo could always focus the force training back to the special and see what Jeff does, keeping him under the radar on those force throws. Yeah, so there we go, back to the the special again. So Jeff's probably gonna, I don't know, choke it maybe rather than throwing it. He could always just give up on Grievous and resolve the resource die or something like that if he wanted to. I mean, he's not long for this world regardless of what he does. Alfredo's got 2, maybe 3 cards in hand, and that just got those 2 discards showing. So he's got some options there to dump his hand, but if he blanks the force training, which he'd have to do to keep Grievous alive, then Alfredo can always discard to reroll, and as long as he gets 2 damage sides, then the force throw is not going to be able to stop both. Oh, okay, so Jeff played Disturbance in the Force to reroll all dice. I'm not sure about that one. That was interesting. He just got rid of his 2 defensive dice by doing that and gave Alfredo a chance to get some damage, and there he goes. So Jeff got a 2 melee, a 1 disrupt, a 1 discard, a 2 disrupt, and a blank. Alfredo rolled the 1 range, the 2 disrupt, a blank, and a 2 melee. So that did not work out for Jeff.
Burn your money.
Jeff disrupted Alfredo's resources.
Cards again.
2.
And Alfredo's putting 2 damage into Dooku. Dooku discards Intimidate to get a shield and then take 1 damage. Jeff's resolving the force choke. Gets rid of Alfredo's lightsaber, which we saw earlier. So Alfredo could claim here, use it binds all things, and the claim ability to put in a 2-cost upgrade if he's got it. So Alfredo uses it binds all things, overwrites the force training on the Tusken Raider with a lightsaber. That looks like Jeff claimed. Alfredo rerolled and got the same stuff, a blank and a 2 disrupt, and then he disrupts Jeff's resources. And then he passes. So Dooku is alone here, and Vader has a lot of hit points remaining, so it may be kind of tough for Jeff to pull this off. But Dooku's got a ton of upgrades to keep him around, so we'll see how this goes. Jeff overwrites Immobilize with Force Choke.
Pitch a card.
And then discards a Holocron while Alfredo rolls in. So Alfredo rolls in. Vader gets a 2 melee, a blank, and a 1 resource. One thing about Vader is that his ability is after, which means that you can sit there and you can look and see what he rolls in first and then decide what card to discard. So if you had a isolation and feel your anger in your hand, you could decide based on his die rolls which one is the better card to keep. So Jeff overwrites Force Throw with Mind Probe, and then Alfredo plays Force Strike to put 3 damage into Dooku. Jeff discards Force Strike and takes 2 damage. So Dooku's down to 7 hit points here. And Dooku's coming in. He gets a 2 disrupt, a 1 melee, a 1 discard, and a 3 range for 1. Jeff's only got 1 card left here, so he can only mitigate 1 more damage this turn. And the Tusken Raider and the lightsaber haven't rolled in yet.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to roll in the Raider now because Jeff's probably going to disrupt Alfredo's money eventually. Oh, okay. So Alfredo puts 2 damage into Dooku, and Jeff does not discard the card. Jeff pays 1 and does 3 damage to Vader. So if Alfredo rolls in here and gets either pay side on the Tusken Raider or the lightsaber, he can use it right away and then avoid that 2 disrupt that Jeff's got there. So Alfredo rolls in, gets a blank and a 1 resource. Definitely not what he was looking for, but
I'll discard a card.
Jeff's resolving the discard, and he pulls it. It binds all things. I was trying a Darth Vader Royal Guard deck the other day, and it was really nice to not have to worry about it binds all things and that sort of thing, because you can actually play in Rage or not have to worry so much about money, because you don't have to spend all that money on control cards because you've got Guardian. So Alfredo discards and rerolls. He gets a blank, a resource, and a 1 shield, and then Jeff puts 1 damage into Vader. There's not much Jeff can do here now, but Alfredo could claim. There we go. I was just going to say, he's got that resource, the claim ability, and the it binds all things. He uses all 3 of them together to put in a Kylo Ren's lightsaber, which is a scary, scary card on Vader.
Can you use that interaction?
This is essentially an interrupt, right? Like,
Okay.
like in an LCG. I hadn't talked to Alpha about his deck, so I wasn't sure if he actually did.
Yeah,
So Jeff tries to disrupt, but Alfredo has no money, and then he passes.
That's it?
yeah.
So it's starting to look kind of bad here for Dooku. Vader still has 8 hit points left, and there's a lot of damage on those dice. Almost all of Alfredo's dice have 3 melee sides, and Dooku does not like taking 3 damage at a time. Let me tell you.
Pitch a card.
So Vader rolls in here, gets a shield, a resource, a 3 melee, and a focus. Jeff discards a deflect from Vader's ability, and then he rolls in, and he gets a 4 stroke special, a disrupt, a 1 melee, and a 1 resource. So I think now would be a fantastic time for Alfredo to hit him for 3, which he does. Jeff's got to keep discarding here to keep alive. So Jeff discards and takes 2 damage, which puts him at 3 health remaining. One thing about Force Choke versus Immobilize is I actually like Immobilize better, because it doesn't matter what you roll in, you've got that guaranteed control, whereas Force Choke you only have a 1 and 3.
You gave me 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just put a 3 there.
Force Choke has that added advantage that you can choke one of your other characters to manipulate your dice to be a better side as well, but in this situation, the shields and the guaranteed die control are probably good.
I don't think I can't.
So Jeff reaches over, gives the GG. That was the end of the game 2 match for our top 4. So it is now 1 for Alfredo and 1 for Jeff, and whoever wins the next game will be going to the finals of our tournament. I hope you liked this game, so if you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll continue to bring you Destiny content. Thanks for watching, everybody.